about transition, all right? Like all concepts, I'm actually going to talk about the concept. All concepts find their meaning by their opposite, which is, of course, equilibrium. It is very hard for us to understand transition because we very rarely as a species live in transitions. There have been 3 in history, 2 actually in history, 1 coming. The Neolithic, the Industrial, and now the Green, okay? Most of human history has happened in the gaps between these transitions. We really don't know how to manage transition. Most of our concepts don't work with it. Why? Well, what do transitions do? Transitions change the fundamental concepts which allow for collective action and coordination, right? If I am going to work with you, especially if I'm going to work with people at the other side of the planet, if I'm going to live in a meaning-making environment, you have to be predictable. Not your interiority, because you're all crazy, everybody's deeply, deeply, deeply different. However, the concepts through which we translate our behavior to another have to be stable. They have been through history. The Industrial Revolution, as Hegel explains, gives us utility as our fundamental horizon of meaning-making, as any economist will tell you, right? That replaced the one from the Neolithic Revolution, which was justice, right? Give each person that which is proper to them, right? Justice is a fundamentally distributive, conservative concept. Utility is a fundamentally dynamic, disruptive concept. Thus, you get in the equilibrium, which, as I remind you, is most of history, right? Between these, what you get here are fundamentally stable equilibria, and here you get dynamic equilibria. Okay? So, you know, creative destruction, capitalism, etc., etc., etc. All right. So here we are. We have transitions are fundamental discontinuities between equilibria which provide new coordinating mechanisms, or new coordinating horizons, which allow for, in fact, enable and create the horizons of creative action. Again, because I'm a proper neo-Hegelian, between each one of these horizon concepts has had its dark sister, its challenge concept. Against justice, you get love, right? To justice, everybody should get what they deserve. It's fundamentally hierarchical. Love destroys that and says you should get whatever you want, right? You should be given that which you like. That's why God is your father, right? Just gives you stuff, okay? But he's also, so you get, what are the operative concepts here? Hierarchy. That's the operative concept under the Neolithic, under this undering. Here, it's dynamism. It's change. Okay? What's the operative economic concept? Here, it's debt. Right? What's the operative concept here? It is profit. What's the opposite? What's the framing, contrasting, dialectical opposite of utility? It is, of course, freedom, which then creates the notion, artistically, of the notion of the avant-garde, which has been the modernist model that has driven us right through. I'm just checking about if there's anything out here. Bum, 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 bum. Oh yeah, and the other one here, of course, then, if you've got utility and you've got a global system, you have to have a universal exchange, so you've got money. And over here on this side, in the original, in the Neolithic equilibrium, you get monies, because you need standards of value which are appropriate to the specific rates of exchange. You need temple money as well as secular money. Okay? Where do we get from this? What we have here then, and what we've been dealing with tonight, and it's really interesting, the last 2 talks I thought were really fantastic, they're prefigurations of the emergent values of the next transition, which will, by definition, be discontinuous and non-linear with this world, which is the world we know. And I'm going to take, how much time I got?
1 + 1 minute.
Oh, 1 + 1 minute. But then you say, hang on, but you said you were going to talk about transitions, and what you talked about were the equilibria. So how does a transition work? Transitions are fundamentally cumulative rather than revolutionary processes through which societies find they have to take exogenous features and make them endogenous. What the Neolithic Revolution, is Justice Love, was a domus, where the animals and plants which had been exogenous to the human species were made endogenous to the peasant household. That and thus we co-evolved. Us, our plants and our animals. Donna Haraway was invoked earlier. This is one of Donna's biggest ideas and what she's run off. Okay? And what I mean by cumulative, it never goes away. How many people in this room have a pet? Doesn't matter what kind of pet it is, right? You're living in a domus, right? Because you have a companion animal. You have extended your household. 1 minute. The Industrial Revolution was the network city, which endogenized space. It made a completely global system. The key symbol of that is not the dog, it's the coffee house. An Islamic institution which was transposed from Cairo to London and turned into the information exchange, which gave us all the coordinating mechanisms of capitalism, from the insurance exchange to the stock exchange. What the hell will this be? What is the social innovation which will endogenize all of nature, all of the mineral and material world into us? We can imagine it a little bit through the arts, but I think we're we're on the foothills of this. This is really, and even more interesting than what will be the social innovation, what are going to be the contrasting norms? I think we're beginning to prefigure what those are going to be, but we really don't know. So it's worthwhile doing some research. Thank you.